Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next is the last session of our forum, and our speakers will be presenting on leveling up CLMVT connectivity for success. In this session, two promising business rising stars will be exchanging their ideas and experiences about their success as enablers on how they connect customers and companies closer. And of course, in the session, they will also be introducing how lives of supply chain stakeholders in the CLMVT region could be made easier using methods, updated technologies through their products and services. So there will be a number of points for discussion. Interesting questions will be asked in this Duet talk, covering things like the current stage of connectivity within the region from the perspective of the private sector, the opportunities and also obstacles for boosting connectivity within the CLMVT region, and of course the pain points and perhaps the biggest challenges for the service sectors to support the CLMVT supply chain connectivity. And if there is time, I believe there'll be a Q&A session coming up towards the very end as well. So I believe now that we are ready to lead you into the last and final topic of the day, leveling up CLMVT connectivity for success. Without further ado, please put your hands together to welcome Mr. Raymond Yee, Vice President for Customs and Regulatory Affairs for DHL Express, covering Asia Pacific, excluding China, Singapore, and Ms. Sue Ann Lim, Google's Head of Industry, Malaysia, Myanmar, and Cambodia.
So, Sue, looks like we're in the penultimate session. I guess they say they leave the best for last, huh?
Yes, I definitely agree with that. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to the Ministry of Commerce Thailand for inviting Google and DHL to be here today to share about what our companies are doing to connect the CLMVT region, create value, and set the region up for success across borders in an increasingly digitized world. Raymond and I have actually known each other for more than a decade now, so we are old friends. It's a real blast from the past for us. It's a real honor for me to be up here with one of the region's leading experts in international trade, customs, and connectivity. We share a lot in common. Besides our roles to accelerate connectivity, our companies are very invested in the enablement and success of the region. We have a huge passion for e-commerce and technology, and we are both economists by training. So let's introduce ourselves a little bit more. Raymond?
Thanks, Sue. I cover the Asia Pacific region, excluding China, and I deal mostly with government and regulatory issues for DHL Express. As you know, DHL has been very long in this region and for at least 40 years in most of the countries. So my main area is really trade facilitation and connectivity.
And my name is Sue Ann Lim. At Google, I look after our business partnerships in the technology and telecommunications sectors across 3 amazing and vibrant countries, Malaysia, Myanmar, and Cambodia. Accelerated connectivity, digitization, new skills in the digital era, digital literacy, and how technology can help improve lives and grow businesses in new ways are the topics that we at Google think about the most with our business and industry partners. And there is tremendous opportunity to achieve all of this in the CLMVT region. As we have heard from the various speakers today, labor participation, GDP per capita, economic opportunity, internet penetration, and entrepreneurship is at an all-time high in the region. Google estimates that the Southeast Asia digital economy is worth about $240 billion US. And at Google, we recognize the significance of CLMVT to this figure. And we are thinking about how hard we can bring the best of Google to the region, bring the best of our technology together with the best of CLMVT partners, and in turn, bring CLMVT to the world. Oh no, technology and CLMVT to the world. Okay, so at Google, our mission is to organize the world's information to make it universally accessible and useful. And we believe that the best way to do this is through technology. If the console can help me skip to the next slide. Thank you. Today, there are 4 billion people on the internet. 1 billion more will soon be joining, coming online for the very first time, just as the previous billion did in just 3 years. Never in history has anything taken off at such an accelerated speed, providing the backbone and foundation to the products that many of us here in this room business leaders, startup founders, venture capitalists, hardware makers, and the public sector have built together. The scale and speed at which people are coming online to learn, grow, and increase welfare has had a profoundly positive impact on society. At Google, we have always been interested in building products for everyone. We have 8 products that have more than 1 billion users across the world. And as the next billion come online for the very first time, they use what Google has built very differently from all of us, be it our search engine, Google Maps, YouTube, Gmail, Android, Chrome, or even how they save and share files on Google Drive. So for us at Google, the next big challenge is really how do we build and evolve products for the next billion users, many of whom are in APAC, this circle right here. Did you know that more people live inside this circle than people who live outside of this circle in the world? So we need to cater to very varying aspirations and modalities, even within this circle, and most importantly, solve for problems. And to stay true to our mission statement, we are committed to invest in the region to do 3 things really, really well. The first is access to good internet, and physically connecting more people to the internet than ever before. Secondly, to make our products contextually and locally relevant for the region to provide solutions that solve real, local, everyday problems. And then thirdly, investing in digital skills and digital literacy so that ever more people can participate in the digital economy and make lives better. So let me start first with access to the internet, which provides the foundation of everything that we at Google try to build. Many of our partners in Asia and around the world have already done so and done a tremendous amount to improve access. We are also trying some things to help accelerate this across the world. For example, in India, where many people still cannot afford to go online, our team has partnered with Tata Trust and Railtel to provide Google Station, which is free high-speed Wi-Fi across 400 train stations across the country. It is the largest public Wi-Fi project in India to date. India is expected to have 650 million internet users by 2020, and we are humbled to be able to play a part in this to help accelerate connectivity and empowerment. Let me show you the story of Srinath of Kerala.
मेरा नाम श्रीनाथ है। मैं केरला में इडुक्की ज़िला में रहने वाला बंदा हूँ। मैंने घर से 140 किलोमीटर आगे दूर पे अपना कोचिंग रेलवे स्टेशन में काम करने वाला कूली हूँ।
तो मैंने अपना बारे में सोचा तो जो शहर का जो लोग जी रहे जैसे हम भी जीना है, इसी कारण से मैंने पढ़ाई के बारे में सोचा। तो पढ़ाई बाहर करके आके अपना काम करने में बहुत दिक्कत पड़ता था, इसी वजह से मैंने बाहर का पढ़ाई छोड़ दिया। मैंने भी दिल के अंदर सोचा मेरा पढ़ाई तो गया, अभी वापस पढ़ नहीं पाएगा। अपना रेलवे स्टेशन में वाईफाई लगा हुआ था, रेल वाईफाई से मैं अपना केरला पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन का जो क्वेश्चन पेपर वगैरह निकल के पढ़ना शुरू किया। जो फ्री टाइम मिलता है उस टाइम डाउनलोड कर लेते हैं, काम का टाइम पे अपना कान में लगा करके काम करता था। केरला PSC का एग्जामिनेशन आ गया, विलेज असिस्टेंट का लिखा तो मेरे को 82% मार्क मिल गया, क्योंकि मेरे को भी तो नौकरी पक्का मिल जाएगा। घर जाए तो मेरे घर वालों को बताएगा जो अपना रेल वाईफाई अपनी ज़िंदगी के साथ बहुत अच्छा दिया है, इसी में बहुत खुशी हूँ।
The impacts of our investment in India gave us a lot of hope and encouragement, and we decided to bring Google Station to, you guessed it, CLMVT. It is important that we succeed in doing this. As Governor of the Central Bank of Thailand just mentioned, half of Southeast Asia is estimated to have little to no access to the internet. Here's a snippet of Thai people using our free Wi-Fi in Thailand, which was created in partnership with Cat Telecom.
Google Station คืออะไร Google นะคะเขาก็ตั้งใจที่จะให้พวกเราคนไทยนั้นมีอินเทอร์เน็ตแบบ High Speed ใช้ฟรีสวัสดีค่ะตอนนี้ซอฟอยู่ที่เมกาบางนาจะมาตามล่าช้า Wi-Fi
ตอนนี้เราก็ได้เน็ตฟรีมาใช้แล้ว คือดูแล้วไม่กระตุกอะเร็วมากก็สามารถใช้ Wi-Fi ฟรีที่หัวลำโพงได้
คืออย่างที่บอกว่านี่มันคือต่อรวดเร็วมันใช้ง่ายนะคะแล้วก็อีกอย่างหนึ่งก็คือฟรีด้วยนะคะก็เป็นประโยชน์กับทุกคน
So I spoke a little bit about access. Let's talk a little bit now about localization. Many of you today use Google Maps. The reality is that almost all of us here in this ballroom use Google Maps when we are in cars, that is, vehicles with four wheels. But there are many, many places across the CLMVT region, and even in my hometown of Malaysia, where people use two-wheel vehicles, that is, bicycles and motorbikes. Now, when people on two wheels use a product that is made for four wheels, they lose out on time, they lose out on convenience because they are not taking the roads that are best for their vehicles. So we decided to create bike mode for Google Maps, especially for emerging markets such as CLMVT. Happy to share that we have launched this new mode of Google Maps in all CLMVT countries as of today. We also found that users in our CLMVT countries use our products very differently. Instead of using text, they prefer using voice to type, to search, to communicate. Let's look at a video of how a user in Cambodia is super fluent in using our speech-to-text technology.
ឥឡូវខ្ញុំចាប់ដើមនេះហើយបាទខ្ញុំសេឡើងសេកអានេះណាបាទឥឡូវខ្ញុំចុចខ្ញុំចង់ទៅផ្សារជាមួយអ្នកណាតែខ្ញុំមិនមានពេលវេលាគ្រប់គ្រាន់អូខេមើលវា
Isn't it amazing? What I really like about that tutorial was that it was made by a Cambodian, for Cambodians, harnessing the power of speech, text, and video. Cambodia has among the fastest growing YouTube watch time in all of APAC, contributed to by content creators and demo makers like the young man we just watched. We remain very excited to see all the new ways in which Cambodians continue to harness the power of YouTube to educate others around them. And lastly, digital skills. For the potential of CLMVT digital economy to be fully realized, we need to create an integrated digital community where everyone is on an even playing field. CLMVT needs to help its businesses and its people prepare for the digital economy. Google is committed to support this shift, and we have already started work. Here is what we are doing in Vietnam to upskill a segment of society that is incredibly vital to the bloodstream of the Vietnamese economy, which is the everyday farmer.
Trước không có internet ấy, thì muốn mua cái máy cày đi rất xa, có khi hàng trăm cây số. Như ngày xưa ấy, thì cũng chỉ ra hiệu thuốc thì là kể bệnh ra thì người ta đến người ta chữa cho thôi chứ còn cũng chẳng biết là thế nào.
Ví dụ cô mà có cái nét báo trước để cho cô biết là thời tiết hôm nay nắng bao nhiêu độ thì cô có thể là che khoảng rau đấy vào. Cửa hàng đặt rau của cô người ta cũng muốn sử dụng qua internet nhưng mà các cô chưa biết sử dụng. Cô giờ già rồi sản xuất thì chả biết cái sử dụng cái nào.
Dùng các cái điện thoại thông minh đưa cho các bác là các bác cũng không biết được, rất là khó. Đấy.
Mặc dù người nông dân họ cũng có internet ở nhà và thậm chí là cả các cái thiết bị thông minh nữa, nhưng họ không biết cách sử dụng thành thục như là con hay là cháu của họ. Đối với người nông dân mà nói thì internet là một cái gì đó rất là cao siêu. Google.org đã làm việc cùng với cả Hội Nông dân Việt Nam để mở rộng hiểu biết của nông dân về công nghệ và internet. Chúng tôi muốn đảm bảo rằng nông dân trên cả nước có tất cả những cái công cụ và sự hiểu biết cần thiết để thành công trong thời đại kỹ thuật số.
Đối tượng chính là người nông dân trong quá trình đào tạo. Trong một gia đình có cả lớp già, lớp trẻ, có cả cặp vợ chồng nữa, để cho cái thế hệ trẻ tiếp thu nhanh hơn. Sau khi về có thể trao đổi chia sẻ.
Trước kia thì chị nghĩ là nó khó lắm. Khi hôm nay bắt đầu chị được hướng dẫn chị cảm thấy là đơn giản, dễ thôi. Chị có thể học từng bước một mà chị sẽ học được.
Chắc chắn là tối nay về là sẽ dạy mẹ nhiều hơn ạ. Được cái mẹ em cũng ham học, cho nên là học cũng nhanh thì từ giờ là chắc là sẽ giới thiệu để cho mẹ có thể giúp ích được cho công việc của mẹ em nữa ạ. Chúng tôi bắt đầu phát triển dự án này ở các cái tỉnh thành chính ở Việt Nam và sẽ nhân rộng ra ở các vùng nông thôn trên toàn quốc. Tại Google, chúng tôi tin rằng Internet có thể thay đổi cuộc sống của tất cả mọi người theo một cách tốt hơn.
Google has committed to upskilling 3 million Southeast Asians towards a stronger, better, and more inclusive digital economy. This will take the form of safe internet use, digital marketing, digital entrepreneurship, starting online businesses, and so on, for individuals and SMEs alike. We are offering a genuine partnership with the people of CLMVT to grow with Google, and we believe the best way of realizing the tremendous potential of this region is to invest in our local communities. And so, the road ahead is long, but the future is bright and incredibly exciting. At Google, we're only just getting started with providing access, localizing our products for CLMVT, and contributing to the skills and knowledge of our region. With technology placed against the right objectives, CLMVT can truly leapfrog any structural boundaries. Please reach out if you would like to join us in this partnership. Until then, I'm going to invite my friend Raymond Yi to share more with us about how DHL is connecting CLMVT not only within the region, but outwards into the rest of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Very inspiring. I just realized how much the internet plays a role and how much it opens access to everyone. So basically, for DHL Express, 2 billion people worldwide online shippers. 60% of that buy internationally online. $1 trillion is the expected market in 2020 for global cross-border e-commerce. And of that, cross-border is expected to be twice the size of domestic e-commerce growth by 2020. 1 out of every 7 online purchases actually crosses at least one border. And in terms of market, we're looking at the potential for buyers in the US, in Japan, and in Germany, the largest markets for online buyers. What about ASEAN? We're seeing potential e-commerce market growth, Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, Malaysia by 2020, with quite a large double digit for Vietnam. And what kind of products would sell online? We've seen fashion, electronics, cosmetics are the current favors, but we see potential in pet care, food products, sporting goods, with significant potentials for growth. So how does this happen? So at DHL, we play a significant role in trying to connect shippers with buyers through the e-commerce platform. And we do this by owning the end-to-end process. We pick up and we deliver all the way to the consumer. But that also means that we try to simplify the experience of the shipper and the experience of the buyer. Now, why is that important? Why is it important to simplify the experience? It's because e-commerce buyers are very fickle. If they get a bad delivery experience, the shipment never arrives, it is delayed, they may never buy from their platform at an e-commerce site again. So the criticality of the logistics experience, we found, plays a significant role in return buyers, in share of wallet, and in how much is in the shopping cart of the e-commerce platform, right? So what do we do for shippers? Basically, we help, and we've done this in many countries, including Thai Trade here in Thailand, we help SMEs, MSMEs build their businesses. We be the brand ambassador for them. We find ways in which they can clear customs without any hassles in a compliant manner. And we also have to make sure that we simplify the shipment processing process for them. What about the buyers? equally as important, if you're buying, we can make sure that you deliver wherever the buyers are, whenever they want it, and that buyers have ability to track their shipments. Obviously, you don't want to know whether your shipments are lost or been pilfered on the journey. So we try to enhance the buyer's experience. Now, how do we do that? One example we do is through this whole application that we have, we call on-demand delivery. You can pick the time slot when you want your shipment delivered to you and where. Because more than 50% of our deliveries are not home. So we're trying to actually have that enhanced and have that improved so that buyers get a choice of whether they want it in a service locker, if they want to leave with neighbor, if they want it delivered somewhere else. We also help customers either collect duties and taxes, or we pay the duties and taxes in advance to be reimbursed subsequently from the shipper, right? So all this is hassle-free experience. And in addition to that, the local customs requirements, so that customers and shippers can calculate the landed costs. As you know, if you're selling online, you need to know how to price your shipments, duties and taxes, additional charges, whether there are any specific licensing requirements, and so on and so forth. Because these things at clearance can be a problem for e-commerce. In addition to that, we have partnered with a firm called Pentagon that helps online shippers, SMEs, to connect to the world through a common platform. Now, Pentagon, basically what they do is they help you build traffic in the various platforms in, for example, Amazon, eBay, and the likes, right? So Q10, Lazada, Zalora, and so on and so forth. So this is like a one-stop shop plug-and-play solution that online shoppers, online SMEs and sellers can go on to. I think I recall earlier someone talked about developing a CLMVT platform. The challenge you will have with that, I think is a good idea, but the challenge you have with that is how do you get internet traffic into those platforms? And that's the criticality. Now, of course, a lot of these platforms already have capabilities on that. But as Sue mentioned also, right, it's trying to learn those skills, digital marketing skills, and so on and so forth. So this becomes quite an important aspect. Now, so how does DHL do that? We basically promise a one-day delivery to Asia Pacific, 1 to 2 days to Europe, and as well as to the US, right? So 1 to 3 days, key markets for your shippers, so that there is speed to market, there is no uncertainty in the times in which the shipment is delivered. How do we do that? We basically operate in 220 countries. I know that there were some people who asked me, do you operate in CLMVT? So we have been 37 years in Myanmar. We have been 47 years in Thailand. We have been 26 years in Cambodia. And the criticality of building this network and ensuring connectivity is important. So if you look at just CLMVT, we have about 88 flights that we put in a week into the CLMVT countries. And of course, because we've been pioneers in the industry with more than 60% market share. So what does this then mean from a global perspective, right? If you look at this, is basically a map of all the flights and the flight network that we've built. From Hong Kong to LEJ, which is Leipzig in Europe, and Cincinnati is CVG. But how have we built connectivity in CLMVT? So this is really the map of how we've built our airline network within the CLMVT. Bangkok remains the air hub for DHL. And the reason why Bangkok is the air hub for DHL, connecting to the various cities in CLMVT, is because of the critical mass of airlines, commercial airlines that you get in Bangkok adjoining the CLMVT countries, right? Now, this has quite significant implications if we want to look at connectivity from a policy perspective for CLMVT countries. In addition to that, we did a study on cross-border e-commerce trade, and unfortunately, customs regulations remain a significant problem for the clearance of e-commerce products, right? about 35% based on a survey that we've done. So if we are looking at the possibility of Thailand to continue to be a hub for the CLMVT countries, which it currently is, of course, to the various countries, Myanmar, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, there is also always the possibility of even moving beyond that, right? Thailand going into China, as we know that's already happening for auto parts. And then if it happens, if it works, Thailand going into India via Myanmar, right? There is the possibilities for connectivity in these geographically contiguous countries is quite immense. There is a lot of opportunity, particularly for logistics perspective, right? Now, the minister talked about road. Unfortunately, she also there's another area which is quite critical, which is rail. The ideal for us is if you build the rail network, you can de-stress the roads because roads have traffic jams, roads get damaged, etc., right? Whereas for rail, there is you can enhance the certainty and the efficiency of transportation. And then, of course, in addition to that, of course, is the air transport. So what does this mean from a policy angle? So I talked initially about, the potential for e-commerce, etc., etc. But this policy deals with really the back end. How do we actually move goods across the CLMVT to enhance connectivity, right? I think the first thing and quite important thing is how do we ensure that customs do not enact regulations that will kill e-commerce shipments? This is a big challenge. And the term that customs authorities have used on e-commerce is they are now inundated with a tsunami of shipments that come into their borders, and they don't know how to handle the volume. So the challenge then you have is them raising barriers for clearing these shipments, which is not what you want. It's a nascent industry, there is potential. And what we don't want is to kill it when the baby is still a baby, right? At the end of the day also, I think for CLMVT connectivity, Thailand needs to continue to be a strategic hub because it then becomes and helps to facilitate how these goods are moved. But in order to do that, there are a number of things that need to be done, I think, in my view. One is, how do you enhance the movement of goods in transit across the CLMVT countries? Because at the moment, there is an agreement in ASEAN that has been in discussion for the last 25 years. I know because I was part of a team that helped draft it with Nan, and it still hasn't been fully implemented. The ideal is that we want goods to move from Thailand across to Laos and Cambodia and even beyond, and even Myanmar, without having to clear customs, trip 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, right? Now, the other challenge is also the inability at the moment for trucks to mix local goods with transit goods. So if I am going from Thailand into Vietnam, I have to split a truck that is transit versus a truck that is domestically originating from Thailand. And that becomes a problem because you don't yet allow efficiency, right? And at the same time, you don't allow people to hub in Thailand because at the end of the day, if you want to create a hub here, you need to maximize capacity, right? And you don't want to send half-empty trucks because of a regulatory restriction. Now, we know that in ASEAN, there's been discussion to hold a number of pilots. There's one that's coming out from Thailand, Laos, and Vietnam on a possible transit. We would only say, please start the pilot as soon as possible because industry has been waiting for this for the longest time. This is the chance, right, to build the backbone for infrastructure for logistics. At the same time, there's a problem, and I know the minister talked about this, right? The inability for trucks to move from one country to another. At the moment, you have to stop a Thai-registered truck before it goes into Myanmar. You have to lift off cargo and go put into a Myanmar truck before it continues. Does it make sense? Obviously not. It is not efficient. It is not cost effective. It just raises a lot of other types of costs for business and the supply chain, right? So if you want to enhance connectivity, mutual recognition of truck registration, driver's registrations, and so on. And of course, as I talked before, there's so much opportunity to enhance the border because you not only have road, you have rail, and the potential to move to utilize CLMV connectivity and move beyond that into China, and beyond that into India. We're only talking about, the sky is basically the limit. What about air connectivity? At the moment, of course, Suvarnabhumi is an air hub for CLMVT countries. The only thing we would say is all the air services agreements that are negotiated with CLMV, that needs to be enhanced. We want more slots, you want more flights, because what you want is to build critical mass of flight connectivity in Bangkok. Hong Kong has that, we have a hub there. Singapore has that, DHL also has a hub there. But for Indochina, CLMV, Bangkok actually has the amount of critical mass of air connectivity. But in order to retain that, you want to ensure that your air services agreements that you negotiate with CLMV ensure that you have the slots and you have all the flight registrations to allow for that. The challenge you all will have now is that Vietnam is growing so quickly that there is a temptation to move flights directly from Vietnam out of Vietnam into Hong Kong or to Singapore and bypassing Bangkok. So that's the challenge, right? Because as the CLMV start to grow, we can easily put flights on and that allow for full utilization of the flights. Part of the issue is also Suvarnabhumi is also a little bit reaching full capacity. And maybe one way to look at that is how do you de-stress Suvarnabhumi airport, right? Do we create another airport? The challenge you have that is then infrastructure, the fixed overheads and so on, right? One way maybe to look at this is maybe you take away shipments or cargo that are less time sensitive and move them by road or by rail so that you then de-stress and you allow for more space on air cargo for more time sensitive types of shipments, right? Just some of the ideas that can be looked at, but I think if Thailand wants to think about being a strategic partner from a connectivity perspective with CLMV, then it may have to think about how it continues to position itself and be competitive, right? And finally, engaging micro, small, and medium enterprises to take advantage of e-commerce. We have worked with Thai Trade, we work with SME Corp in Malaysia, we work with the Department of Trade in the Philippines. There are so many opportunities in enhancing MSMEs and allowing them to access the global market. So because of that, I have one video, so can you cue video on a successful SME in Thailand and how they've accessed the global market.
BC เป็น Gadget for Life Simply the best for all to be easy สินค้าที่ขายหลักก็จะเป็นพวกเคสมือถือที่ชาร์จอะแดปเตอร์ของที่เราใช้ในชีวิตประจำวันนะรวมไปถึงพวกสินค้าเกี่ยวกับ Travel อะไรอย่างเงี้ยค่ะด้วย
เริ่มจากตอนแรกเราแค่ต้องการขายหนังสือที่เราใช้แล้วอะให้มันมีราคาเท่านั้นเองเราก็เลยพยายามหาที่มันสามารถขายหนังสือเพื่อให้ได้เงินกลับมามากกว่าเดิมตอนนั้นก็คือ eBay คือลงไปอยู่ที่ประมาณเหมือนแบบ 2-3 วิอ่ะผมขายหนังสือเล่มนั้นได้เลยในราคาแบบประมาณ$50วันนั้นก็เลยเข้าใจเรื่องการซื้อขายของออนไลน์เริ่มทำอะไรกับมันเพราะเรารู้ว่า power มันแรงมากในอินเทอร์เน็ตของต้องน้ำหนักเบาแล้วเราสามารถส่งได้แล้วเราก็ไปคลิกกับไอ้ตัวที่เราอยู่ในใจก็คือพวกเคสมือถือผมก็เลยตัดสินใจเริ่มแปะกากเพชรแล้วตอนนั้นผมนั่งแปะเหมือนแบบคิดลายเองจนอันสุดท้ายคือไม่รู้จะแปะอะไรแล้วรู้สึกว่ามันทุเรศที่สุดแล้วเราก็เลยทำทั้งหมดเนี้ยถ่ายรูปแล้วก็ลงขายไอ้อันที่ทุเรศที่สุดอยากถ่ายออกอันแรกในเวลารวดเร็วแล้วเราอันที่เราคิดว่ามันสวยที่สุดอะขายออกแบบอีกนานมากอะเราไม่ได้เริ่มจากว่าเฮ้ยเราชอบอันนี้นะแล้วเราจะขายอันนี้นะเวลาผมเวิร์กกลับมาผมจะเหมือนแบบไม่เชื่อตัวเองเท่าที่ควร ก็จะไปเชื่อข้อมูลที่เรามีอยู่ซึ่งข้อมูลมันเป็นตัวเลขแล้วตอบทุกครั้งตัวเลขไม่เคยหลอกนะครับตอบเราถูกทุกครั้งถ้ายอดโดยรวมทั้งหมดทั่วโลกนะครับอยู่ที่ 1,400 ชิ้นต่อวันตอนนี้มีอังกฤษเยอรมันฝรั่งเศสอิตาลีแล้วก็สเปนครับ
คือถ้าเกิดตัว Express ก็คือส่งเร็วจริงๆไม่เกิน3 วันน่ะก็ถึงอังกฤษแล้วค่ะคือมันแบบเร็วมากคล้ายๆกับเรานั่งเครื่องบินไปเองถ้าติดปัญหามีปัญหาอะไรก็มีทีมที่พร้อมจะช่วยเหลือพร้อมจะซัพพอร์ตเราตลอด
ตัวช่วยในการขาย e-commerce ได้จริงๆมันต้อง perfect ทุกอย่าง customer service แล้วก็ lead time เรื่อง shipping อะไรต่างๆใครส่งเร็วกว่าได้เปรียบมันไม่ใช่แค่ว่าคุณรู้แล้วว่าคุณจะขายอะไรแต่คุณเซิร์ฟตรงนั้นไม่ได้มันก็จะแย่ในอนาคต
DHL Express ไม่ใช่เราเลือก DHL Express นะ DHL ก็เลือกเราเหมือนกันเลือกที่จะให้โอกาสโตมาโดยการตั้งแต่แรกที่ทำแพ็คทีละชิ้นอะไรอย่างเงี้ยคือเรามีแค่10ออเดอร์20ออเดอร์คือเขาเข้ามาคุยยังมีวิชั่นอะไรเป้าหมายคืออะไรโกคืออะไรช่วยซัพพอร์ตจนทุกวันนี้วันละเป็นพันกว่าออเดอร์ DHL ก็มีโปรดักที่จะมาเสิร์ฟเรา
เป็นแบรนด์ระดับโลกที่ offer solution ให้เราแล้วก็เขาก็เข้าใจว่า SME ตั้งต้นผู้เริ่มทำประกอบธุรกิจมีปัญหาอะไรแล้วเขายื่นมือเข้ามาช่วยมันเป็นการช่วยกันมากกว่าผมต้องขอบคุณ DHL ด้วยจริงๆคือเราทำธุรกิจคนเดียวมันเป็นไปไม่ได้อยู่แล้วเราต้องมีทีมงานซัพพอร์ตที่ดีด้วยหนึ่งนะครับทั้งทีมงานของผมเองแล้วก็ทีมงานของ DHL Express เองผมประทับใจตั้งแต่แรกแล้วแหละที่เขาให้โอกาสผมให้โอกาส SME ที่เพิ่งเริ่มใหม่ตั้งแต่ตอนนู้นได้ทำธุรกิจจริงๆแล้วผมว่าเชื่อว่าทุกคนเนี่ยก็มีโอกาสร่วมงานกับ DHL ได้เป็นแบรนด์ระดับโลกที่คุณสามารถร่วมงานได้จริงๆ DHL มีส่วนร่วมในทุกก้าวของธุรกิจของผมจริง
So that's all I have. Thank you very much.